Moping around the house, clearly distressed. Today happens to be his absolute least favorite day, Monday. Nothing could cheer him up, and John could tell that he needed something to brighten his day. After months of waiting to execute his plan, he decided that today was the day. John knew that he must have cooked crazy due to how excited he was. However, he couldn't hold it in. He rushed to the basement to get everything he needed to set up outdoors, then ran to the supermarket to get ingredients for Garfield's favorite meal. Garfield, come out. Here, I have a surprise for you. John yells excitedly from the balcony. Garfield walks outside to see a beautiful decorated dinner table with a checkered tablecloth, roses, and candles. The scent of lasagna was in the air, but Garfield's attention was not focused on that, but rather than Jonathan Herbert Arbuckle face down doggy style on the table. John was wearing any pants and had gaping asshole overflowing with lasagna. Garfield's jaw had dropped, and he was at a loss for words. Cup, sit down, John, said John's eye gleaming with excitement and passion. Slowly and carefully, Garfield took his first step towards the chair directly in front of Jonathan's lasagna-filled asshole. After around 3 steps, Garfield sat down in the chair, still incredibly nervous. John, what is this? What are you doing? Garfield asks. John turns his head. Looking over his shoulder, he says, Garfield, I know you hate money, so I prepared a nice lasagna dinner for you to feel better. Garfield's eyes widen even more. John, this is crazy. You expect me to consume delectable lasagna out of your pulsating, saucy asshole? Yes, of course, Jonathan says completely seriously. Well, I mean, I think you've sold me, says Garfield. John, looking over his shoulder, says, Tonight I am the meal, so dig it. Garfield tucks a napkin into his fur, grabs a fork and a knife, and slams his face into John's lasagna-filled asshole, sucking and slurping the cheesy, saucy lasagna. Garfield moans in pleasure. John's asshole tightens and loosens with the motion of Garfield's tongue. Eventually, Garfield consumed all the lasagna that his tongue could reach. However, John had packed lasagna into his asshole as far as his hands could reach. Garfield, determined to eat all the lasagna, he has an idea. He slowly starts to insert his head into John's asshole. John moans with intense pleasure. Garfield inserts his head full into John's lasagna-filled anus. John's toes curl in pleasure. He screams a moan. Garfield fully immerses himself into John. John had never been happier. He said always wanted his cat to consume lasagna out of his sexy rectum. They had never been closer, friendly in one mind, spirit, body, and soul. Garfield has trouble navigating John's covering, but eventually finds the rest of the lasagna consuming at top speed. He finally finishes the saucy dish. Garfield suddenly realizes his fatal mistake. He hadn't had a ball moment of the day and had eaten lasagna, which everyone knows makes him have to shit. John feels Garfield's claws sensibly scratching the inside of his sensitive cavity. John moans in pleasure and pain. Suddenly, he feels shit leaking out of his tight hole. Confused, John decides to look at it. Then he realizes that he hadn't have to shit at all. He knows that his very sexy Garfield must have had to shit due to the sheer amount of lasagna he consumed. Garfield must not have been able to hold it in, then shit himself inside of John. This had always been John's ultimate fantasy. His white, salty, and sticky fluid explodes all over the gorgeous table set up. John, covered in shit and sperm, could no longer hold his position and collapses on a chair. John, Garfield said. John was slightly shocked that he could hear Garfield speak from inside of his love hole. Garfield's long John asks, worried for his lover, who is also his cat. John, I can escape your sexy hold, Garfield says, his voice quivering. This was the moment John had been waiting for. He hadn't imagined it would get to this. He didn't think Garfield would have actually climbed inside of his cavity and gotten him out stuck. What the fuck is this? This was perfect. John smirked in anticipation and started to push. Garfield's ears started to emerge. John felt like he was giving birth to his lover. Finally, Garfield slid out, lubed up, and shed blood and lasagna sauce. At this point, you couldn't tell the difference between the three. Well, that was a sensational adventure, Garfield says. Now Garfield hates Mondays a little less. The end.